What's going on, everybody? The Obsession Podcast. I am Mike Stather.
And I am Carl Bethke.
Hey, Carl, how you doing?
Oh, outstanding, Mike.
Good, great, grand.
Outstanding.
So,
Yes, sir.
I can probably put some of these together here, or two of these together. So, had a listener ask me
Yeah.
or us.
Yep.
He's like, "How can I improve as a bow hunter?" First question. And then he also asked, he's like, "Do you prefer shooting from a stand while sitting or standing? And why?"
And why?
And then he had a whole bunch, but I'm like, I can't just put them all on there. But
Okay. So, can we address this tree stands part first?
sure.
Let's do the tree stand part. My opinion on shooting sitting or standing. My opinion is standing 100%. And here's why. So when you're sitting, your torso, your frame, everything is a fixed position. There's no turning unless you twist at the waist. But understand in archery, when you twist at the waist, you promote torque into your bow. Now, we have a tool on the bow that helps show you what the torque is within reason.
The level?
The level on your sight. But the level does not actually show wrist torque, arm torque, or anything of the bow. It just shows whether the bow is level. Uphill, downhill, level, square, everything, especially if your third axis is on, which should be always done when shooting from tree stands or any out west, up or downhill shooting, right?
Correct.
All right. That being said, that's why I stand. I will take the time to actually physically stand up in my stand on every deer I shoot. Now, can I say that I haven't? I have stood on every buck that I've shot? No, I can't. I have shot deer sitting down. The reason I hear people stay sitting is less movement, which I understand that. But if you're worried about really slow and controlled movement, your stand's probably in the wrong location anyway. You should have had a better backdrop. You should have had a couple different things. Height maybe, not always, but sometimes. You have to hunt where the cover is in a woods or on a tree. That's my opinion. Mike might be different.
I don't have one.
You have an opinion.
Okay.
I know you do. Thoughts?
I 100% want to stand as well.
Yeah.
I've shot, I think I've only shot, I don't even think a handful sitting. One, you were with me, that was in the blind.
Yep.
In North Dakota.
Yep.
That's because we were
Well,
blind.
I honestly didn't think about the blinds.
Yeah, but we don't really care for blind hunting.
No.
Ourselves.
And I
shot
drew on this
one
one
buck
right away
there.
this time, and he stopped right at the
I've
corner
shot a
of Vales
few,
and-
not sitting, but off of knee.
That we've done because
Yeah.
my antelope and stuff was
Yeah.
me.
So, which I think I'm a better shot on one knee than I am sitting. Just
Oh yeah, I know I am.
But 100%. I'm like Carl, I want to stand, and I agree. Like if I see movement start to happen or whatever, and I am sitting, I try to get myself up right away.
Yeah.
You know, as fast,
Right.
air quote, you know, as agile actually as I can and be ready, because it's just, you can do so much more standing than sitting.
Right, I agree. Well, that way you square your body with the ground. The thing about it, and I'll tell you guys this, this will not apply to everybody. You know, you've got guys like Mike that are physically conditioned really well. This probably doesn't apply to as many of those guys as it does guys that are a little bit bigger people and things like that. Your core needs to be extremely strong to shoot archery properly.
Bumbled at the top and
Any
next
other
to the
position
right here, it called it
besides
was
standing.
one we were after.
And even standing, your core for archery has to be fairly strong and solid to control your float and your aiming and everything, especially during a high pressure situation.
Mm-hmm.
So most people don't do the core exercises, in my opinion, necessary to shoot offhand whether it be a rifle or a bow,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, I've shot at 2 animals sitting that I blew
Mhm.
100% because of my bottom cam hit my leg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You were
yeah.
with me. One was in North Dakota on a mule deer, and I
Yep.
did it here. One of the first years I was here on my property, I shot at one sitting, and I still have the mark on those pants where the cam spun around,
Yeah.
hit my leg.
It ripped them, didn't it?
Ripped my-
Or
it
no, it
did
ripped
rip
your one,
those,
your
yeah.
North Dakota one.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot more things you got to worry about
Well-
sitting down. Your legs are kind of in the way.
That's the other aspect of that too. And a lot of the stands, I mean, if you have a shooting rail on a tree stand, you're not sitting and shooting your bow.
No.
I don't care who you are. But I think there's too many things, too many variables that can go wrong, you know, shooting. A lot of guys will say, well, they'll face their stand, you know, off the tree, and then they feel naturally comfortable shooting like
Yeah.
that.
And all you have to do is make sure that deer goes right in that spot.
Yeah, well, yeah, and stop there, right?
Yeah.
You know?
'Cause that's the problem that we see a lot. Like, you know, the deer comes out, cool, all of a sudden, oh, he's over here.
Right.
And now you got to get yourself around a tree
Yeah,
or around a limb,
yeah.
whatever it may be. You're not going to do that sitting.
No, the other variables of that too is, in my view, if you're planning on shooting sitting, you have to clear too much around your stand. The deer are gonna notice that. Big buck's gonna be like, no, not going in there.
Right.
You know, you can't just sit on food plots all the time either. That's educating deer, but
I will say, I think you'll agree, is you should practice doing all of it.
yeah,
I
100%.
mean, you should practice. You should at least sit and shoot some arrows.
Agreed.
Because there may come a time, don't get me wrong, like if there was no way I could get standing, I have my bow, I'm gonna try to make a shot.
Right.
I'm not gonna, like, I gotta stand. Like, if you think it's gonna happen and it has to happen,
Well,
it'll happen if you're ready.
right, and now I can hear it now from everybody. Well, you know, what about when they just all of a sudden show up? You know,
Like normal.
yeah, I mean within reason. Honestly, you know, they're not gonna. Most whitetails don't detect slow, even movement.
Right.
It's when you start to get jerky, you're like, oh dear, stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't gonna work. You know, you gotta.
I'm just talking like if it's there milling around and it's in a window,
Yeah.
and you're basically screwing it off.
Right.
And all of a sudden there it is, and don't act like you haven't done it.
You're on your phone.
Yeah, on your Facebooking it, you know, on Blue Collar Bucks.
Yeah.
Which is
Check
what
it
should
out.
be. But anyway, you're looking at something, and all of a sudden there's a deer. It's
Right.
happened to all of us.
Yes.
And you know, maybe you're like, okay, this is my window because you know it, you know the stand, whatever.
Yep.
It's going to move out of the window. So can you make the shot now sitting, or can't you? Because if you can't, well then don't ever sit down.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Because there's stands that we're in and we don't sit in them
No, 100%.
because you know that you got to be on your feet. You got to be ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, if we're on a hunt, yeah, there's stands that we'll stand. Well, when we go out west, there's stands that we put up if we're whitetailing out there. That there might be a limit of weight because there's only 1 or 2 trees in
Yeah,
the
there's not
location,
many
so
trees.
you have to stand.
Right.
But standing, I mean, we'll stand there for 5-6 hours,
Right.
easy.
For sure.
Yep. So, I mean, that probably pretty much covers what we think about sitting.
Right.
But now, how do you become a better?
Yeah. How can I improve as a bow hunter?
How do you improve as a bow hunter? What do you think, Mike?
Well, I think it's like anything. You have to do it. But what I say by that is you got to get out there, try to do your research, try to learn things, and fail.
That is correct.
You're gonna fail a lot. That's how we learned to be better bow hunters, is
Yeah.
doing things and like, okay, I'm gonna try this. Well, that did not work, or this part of it worked, that part of it didn't. It's just I'm just talking abroad, just to start.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. You know, if you want to become a better bow hunter, you, like Mike said, you have to do it. And what I mean by doing is you'll try, like he was saying, experiment with different things. Releases are important. You know what bow feels good in your hand.
Yeah.
Equipment wise, you know, don't be afraid to play with your equipment a little bit if you have the tools to do it. If you don't have the tools to do it, don't do that.
Right.
You get them, you take it to a good, reputable pro shop, those guys can set you up good.
I think,
Good enough for hunting, for
oh
sure.
yeah, for sure. I think one big thing, well, like you said, you gotta know your limits there, for sure. But, you have to have patience.
Yeah, nothing, if you spend, we see it all the time, guys will spend thousands of dollars. I mean, I own a pro shop.
That,
Guys
my
will come
friend,
in and spend a ton of money on equipment and think that the equipment's gonna make them better. Well, I hate to say it, but if you're not a good archer, you can have the best bow, the best arrows, the best sight, best everything.
heard
You're
phone.
still not a good archer. So, learning how to shoot with, I'm gonna say good form, and learning how
Like an eye, I might as well just quit right
how
there.
your equipment works.
High right.
Don't think that if you spend more money, you're gonna be a better archer. It doesn't work that way. You have to get out and practice. And when we say practice, you guys, and I'll show you some video here of Mike and I practicing at, 60, 70, 80 yards. It's not shooting 100 arrows. It's shooting, 10 good quality arrows? And then you start to wear yourself
Yeah,
out.
we shoot 16 tonight.
Yeah.
Weeknight.
On league night.
You shooting
Yeah.
the lower one?
Oh, and here's the other aspect of it. We're not the guys, when we're practicing league nights, let's just say broadhead or indoor 3D when we shoot in the winter time. We're not the guys that go out to the practice bunkers and shoot 20 arrows before we go step on the course. We're the guys that
Yeah,
walk
we don't.
straight on
We
the
walk straight to the course. You don't get practice arrows when you're hunting.
Yeah. Well, and tell them about the one arrow deal that you were practicing.
Oh yeah, I
before.
do. I like to go out every day in the morning. Usually after I get home from the gym, I go out before I leave for work. I shoot one arrow, just one
At a longer distance.
at a long
usually.
distance. One arrow, good or bad, I shoot one arrow.
Yep. Why? Why?
It's repetition
Mm-hmm.
for me,
Yep.
and focusing on making that shot. One, because your only arrow that really counts normally is the first one.
That's a
'Cause
fact.
you usually don't get more than that. Yeah, there's cases
Right.
that you can.
Yeah.
Normally that first one's got to be good.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
got to be good. And guys that hunt out west like we do, that sometimes there's follow-up shots.
Yes.
But the first one better be pretty good,
Yeah.
or your
Exactly.
follow-up shot might not come.
Here's the other one that I do when I'm shooting. Like I'll just grab one arrow and have it in my quiver, okay? And when Mike and I say practice for hunting, we're shooting our broadheads. We're not shooting field points. We're shooting our broadheads, okay? So whether you use an expandable, a fixed blade, whatever, you use a 4-vein arrow, a 3-vein arrow, arrows with feathers, arrows with veins, whatever. I don't care. But you use what you hunt with, because we're here about the hunting aspect of it, not the 3D score.
Right.
The bragging rights. I shoot 220 or whatever.
I will tell you one thing that's helped me over all the years. Like I said, you got to get out there and try things and fail. What I do, and I still do it. I don't know if you do, Carl. You probably do, but like when I get in a stand, I'm making sure that, for one thing, I can draw my bow back where I'm standing, or I think I'm going to get my shots. And we do that when we set our stands,
Right.
normally, but that's one thing I practice. I like to practice on, especially when I start calling, I like to call
Yeah.
and just kind of see how deer react.
Yeah.
And it'll teach you kind of how to do things. Like I don't do that to big mature bucks.
No.
Like I'm gonna call them normal, but I'll try stuff on younger class bucks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just to see how they react.
I will do that. Yeah.
And people might think, but it teaches you. It does,
Yeah.
and I will tell you too, especially if you haven't shot animals, is to get out there and an animal comes, practice trying to get your bow drawn back on them.
Mm-hmm. I do that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you shoot them,
Right.
practice. Because you hear people all the time, this.
I
like,
passed.
"Oh, I passed up that deer." Did you pass that deer up? Because to me, passing a deer up is you went to full draw on that deer and had a kill shot on him and said, I'm not going to shoot him,
Yeah.
and let that bow back off.
That's a pass.
That's a
Yeah.
pass. It ain't looking at him and be like, yeah, I'm not going to shoot that deer. Well, cool, because you didn't get your bow drawn back, first of all.
Well, I've seen it plenty of times on the internet where these bigger hunters, which is fine, but deer walks by them and they're filming it with their cell phone or whatever.
Mhm.
And they're like, well, I passed this deer. No, you didn't.
Yeah, you actually
You filmed it with your
Yeah.
cell phone. You didn't go full draw on it. I mean, deer's at 10 yards and he's 5, 6-year-old deer. Till you get the full draw on that deer,
Yeah.
you didn't pass him.
And I think that's a good way to learn.
Yeah, no, I think that's a
Bucks
great
or does. Find an old doe. Find an old doe, wander
Yeah.
around through there. Try to get drawn back on her.
Yeah.
They're
That,
smart.
yeah, or that, or talk to her and see if you
Yeah.
can get her over to you.
You know, I think those are things that can help you become a better bow hunter. I think it's just you have to learn. It's a learning process.
The one thing I will say about the talking to deer with, calling to deer is we don't usually do it if we think we're going to be educating deer, just so you're aware. It's not like we just sit and all of a sudden we see a deer like, oh,
Yeah, I'm not going to do it, in late October.
Right,
I'm
right.
not screwing around with other deer.
No,
You know what
100%.
I mean? Now, will call to younger bucks.
Oh, yeah.
In late October
Yeah, 100%.
when we're hunting, because if I'm arousing his, senses, there could be another big one around that's watching what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's like, what's he going to do?
Yeah, where's he going? And he
Yeah.
might come. You never know.
That has happened.
Yeah, it has happened.
That has happened. The other thing I do, one thing I'll talk about, one more thing is when I shoot practice, like I said, one arrow, and I'll shoot the one arrow, then I'll walk down and get it, and I'll come back, and I'll shoot the another arrow, walk down, come and get it. Number one, it saves on equipment.
Yeah. We don't shoot groups.
No, you won't see us group shooting. Even when we're shooting together, we shoot at separate spots of the targets.
Yep.
We won't put our stuff in there because we don't. Arrows are expensive.
Yeah, I'm a little different. I usually shoot 3 arrows, but I have 5 or 6 different targets, and it's
Yeah.
1 arrow per target,
Yep.
just to see. That's what I do.
Yep.
I definitely never group shoot with broadheads, but it's practice, it's patience, persistence. It's a bunch of
100%.
P's.
A lot of P.
Practice, patience, persistence.
Triple P.
Triple P.
Get them done.
That was from Tim.
Tim? Well, thanks for the question,
Tim and Scotty.
Yeah, very straight from the great state.
That's right.
Yeah, buddy. So that's what we do. Hopefully, Tim, that answered your question. We appreciate the question. If you get a chance, you want to just check out the podcast. Check us out every Saturday right here on YouTube at Rush Outdoors, Wisconsin. Or you can check us out anyplace else. We're also on Blue Collar Bucks. Be on our Facebook
Blue
page.
Collar Bucks is our Facebook page.
Yeah,
Check it out.
100%. So we appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, buddy.